Well, good morning. Welcome to my word for the day. I'm Lee Watson. I'm a business advisor. I'm an adventurer, and I'm a person who's promoting the virtues in life and business. And I'll explain that. When I wake up in the morning, and you've probably heard this before, after I make my bed or my side of the bed, or maybe before, I'm not sure, the first things that I think about are gratefulness, thankfulness for my life, for everything around me, for God, for my wife, for the comfort that I enjoy. It's not always that way. It's not always going to be that way, and it's not that way for everyone. I understand that. So today I just want to talk a little bit about virtues themselves. I want to talk about whether or not they're appropriate for everyone, or maybe they're just for a select few. These are things that I think about, and it's kind of like my feelings about God. I know that there are people who have wildly different views about God and God's role in our lives in the creation of the universe, even, and I love science too, and I think that they work together really well. But what that means is if I promote God, some people are not going to like the whole conversation just because maybe they have a completely different view about God. Maybe they're angry with God. Maybe they don't believe that there is a God. That's okay. It really is. We all take our own path through life and learn and grow and hopefully find knowledge and wisdom that can help us on our journey. So what I want to say today is that these words, these virtues, this is a deck of 100 cards from the Virtues Project. And I often use these. Sometimes I pick other words or topics. And I want to start by telling you what these are and why these are. Words like appreciation, reliability, trustworthiness, self-discipline, strength, perseverance, certitude, fairness, endurance, humility. It's a long list. There are actually hundreds of words that could be considered virtues in our lives. That's just in the English language. Other languages have virtues that have different nuanced definitions and things like that, but basically anything that's good. And I want to thank the Virtues Project because they produced these cards. And what a great organization. Their mission is to spread virtues around the world. Now, these virtues come from all sorts of different sources, including some religious sources from all the major religions. They also come from philosophers who have thought deeply about why it is we're here. And the results are so interesting from all of these people. I know that there are plenty of agnostics out there, people who are keeping my options open. I want to tell you that in my life, I have experienced wonderful conversations, and also I've experienced something that's very personal to me, but every once in a while when I have a faith challenge of some sort and I'm not sure, am I doing the right thing? Am I helping the people I'm supposed to be helping? Am I making a difference in the world? I know a few things. I wasn't designed necessarily to be famous or extremely wealthy. I mean, in some circles, I would be certainly considered wealthy, as do many Americans. I mean, we um, we live very comfortable lives for the most part. Anyway, um, I caught myself saying something like this, and it goes like, God, if you're real, be real to me today in unmistakable ways. There's a lot of ways to look at that phrase. For some, they're going to say, oh gosh, you're not trusting. And for others, you're saying, what a wishful thinking kind of thing that is. The truth is, for me, I rely on God to guide me, to help me, to nudge me one way or another. And I don't always do the right things. But I believe that God has our best interests in mind, actually his best interests in mind. And when I say his, I don't mean that God is somehow a white male with a long beard who is only interested in talking about males. It doesn't work that way. It's just, you can say the is told me, or, the whatever, she, it doesn't matter. God is so far above our pronouns that it's just irrelevant in my world. So I rely on God. Whatever, I believe that God is love. I believe that we all need that love. And by the way, that is a virtue. Love is a virtue. So when I read these cards, this is a card called appreciation. When I read these cards, I think about how does that affect my life? How does that affect my business? Should it affect my business? Should it affect other parts of my life? And the truth is, if we let the virtues become part of our lives, things will improve. Things will get better. If nothing else, you'll be a resource for other people, whether it's through your personal life and your relationships, or whether it's through your business. Okay, when I talk about business, I typically talk about small businesses. Those of you who have over 100 employees, I think that up to several hundred employees can probably relate to some of the topics that I talk about. But my heart is really with those people who have small businesses. You may have 1 or 10 or even 100 employees, and the problems that you have are problems that I know about. I have an MBA, but I didn't get that MBA because it was a stepping stone or a ladder rung on my way to some bigger thing. It was simply a bucket list item, and I wanted to have the knowledge, and I got it, and I appreciate that. What's more important than my formal education is my experience in business. And my experiences range from total failures to really fun and helpful stuff. I've done pretty much everything you can do with business, and started, purchased, merged, closed, sold businesses. All of those things I've done, and I'm thankful for those experiences. That's just who I am and what I do with my life. So while I'm thinking about it, let me remind you that I am available for 15-minute free calls if you want to talk about anything that I talk about here. And I want to once again mention the Virtues Project, because they produce these cards, and they've been around for over 30 years. They're in over 100 countries, and their mission is simply to teach the virtues to everyone, from children, to families, to businesses, to larger organizations, to governments, to schools, all these things. That's what they do. And it's a great thing. So back to business for a moment. Business Beyond Numbers is something that I created because business has to incorporate numbers. You have to be profitable. You have to do the things that you have to do to build a business that's sustainable, and hopefully it will be something that becomes a legacy for you. But in addition to the money and all of that, taking care of all your stakeholders, virtues play an important role. One of our businesses, Watson Real Estate, is super fun for me. My wife is really the workhorse of the business, but it's a business that allows us to help people here in the United States, and specifically we help mostly with people who are trying to buy real estate, but we can also help people who are trying to sell real estate. And we do it with as much heart and virtues as we can. The idea is that if everyone in the transaction wins, great, that's fantastic. It's not just about taking advantage of people. And that is why it's so important to incorporate all the virtues into our business. Fairness and justice and cooperation, kindness, all these things are important to have in our business. And I think the people appreciate that. I mean, they tell us that they're thankful that we help them. I wish that for your business, if you are in business, and if you're not, if you're an employee, be the best employee that you can be for the right reasons. Now, one of the things that I want to concentrate on, in addition to all the other things that I'm concentrating on, is helping. Right now, there's a lot of people. You've heard of the Great Resignation. There's a lot of businesses suffering because they can't keep their key employees. If you're one of those companies and you're losing key employees for 50 cents an hour, your problem is not the 50 cents an hour. Your problem is you haven't found out, or maybe your key employees haven't found out what's really important to them in life. Is it maybe a little more flexibility in their schedule? Is it the ability to spend time with their families? Who knows what it could be? But we need to find out what it is so that we can love and nurture and develop those people into the best that they can be. And I'm thankful to be able to help with some of that stuff. Now, at the entry level, the jobs that are typically minimum wage, it's tough for anybody to. In fact, it's probably impossible for many of those people to have a family and live a life of any kind of sustainability on that. And so we have to talk sometimes about multiple jobs, and sometimes maybe there's something inside of those people that could be of benefit to more people. And that's why we help with business startups, because what's now commonly known as side gigs and things like that can be very helpful for people who are just trying to manage. Okay, that is a lot of stuff. And really, it's virtues that I want to talk about during this show. I think I've done that. I've gone way over time. I thank all the people who watch this and send the little thumbs ups and the hearts and the shares. I also really enjoy the comments that come in. I learn from you, just like hopefully you learn something from me. And we're trying to make this world a better place every day. I hope that I'll learn better about how to accomplish that. And with your help, I'm sure I can. Okay, that's as far as I'm going to go today. Again, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to all of our sponsors, the people who believe in what we're trying to do with Green Cow. Be looking for a book that's coming out. Miranda, my business partner here at Green Cow, has been helping me to develop a book. It's about goals and goal setting and goal achieving and incorporating virtues into the goals process, which obviously is very important to me. So that's coming up pretty soon. Okay, do something nice for somebody else today. Do something nice for a whole bunch of people if you can. I know some of you do, and I'm thankful for that. Be that light, be that source of hope and peace and joy and all the virtues to other people. And when you see somebody practicing a virtue, when you see somebody being kind to others, or you see somebody being cheerful or, being humble. Humility is a great virtue. When you see this in other people, let them know. You both benefit from that. You both learn, and it spreads positive waves out into the world, and we all need that. Okay, that's it for today. I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.